The heat for his performance against Buffalo, and I'm not saying, Josh Allen, that was his fumble. One of the picks was really bad, too, you can argue. One was a great play. But I generally find that talented quarterbacks who throw interceptions, there's a ... drip, drip, drip. There's a connection to it. PFF this morning, 10 of the 11 top-rated offensive lines, 10 of 11, and the top 6, all offensive head coaches. Near the bottom, Bills, Patriots, Seattle, Texans, defensive coaches. I've been on this for 2 years. Offensive coaches figure out offensive line play very quickly. Andy Reid and the Chiefs did it in 4 months. 5 years for Tomlin, maybe 6. 5 years for McDermott. With a better run game and more consistent protection, Josh Allen wouldn't have to run around like Justin Fields, who also has a defensive head coach, trying to save the day 15 times a game. Jordan Love, Tua, Brock Purdy, Matt Stafford this weekend. Don't feel like they're running for their life. 4 of the 5 most sacked quarterbacks week 1, defensive head coaches. And Josh Allen's DNA, his quarterback DNA to begin with, is a little wild and out of control. So if you have a hyperactive 12-year-old, I would recommend you don't buy him a Mountain Dew Big Gulp. Why is our kid acting all crazy? I don't know, parent better, figure it out. Yeah, why is Josh Allen running around throwing picks? Because he has to save the day because they can't develop a run game 6 years in. His style is already a bit wild. That's how he plays. I mean, Lamar Jackson's style, his feet, his legs are a big component to it. That's why they went out and got him tight ends. Guaranteed easier completions early. Baltimore realized he's a runner. We're going to slowly develop this pass game. We'll start with tight ends, then we'll go to deeper routes. Very smart by Baltimore. Buffalo, yeah, our guy is wild and runs around. Let's have him run around and be wild. I don't know why I throw so many picks. Defensive head coach, defensive culture. I've been on this for a long time. I saw a story in The Athletic this morning. Does Josh Allen need to help his offensive line a little more? Flip the telescope. The O-line just a few times in the last 6 years has helped him. You got to help these guys. Chicago and Buffalo's offense. There's talent. Both quarterbacks feel like they have to make the big plays. Jordan Love, all sorts of help this weekend. Clever play calling, excellent protection, solid run game. It's what I saw from Matt Stafford in L.A. and Brock Purdy with San Francisco. There's a theme there. Even Anthony Richardson, the raw rookie in Indianapolis, played mostly under control, had a couple of bad throws. He's a kid. Nick Wright from earlier this week on Josh Allen and where his issues are.
Since Dable left, Josh Allen has played 19 football games. He has 39 picks and fumbles in those 19 games, more than 2 a game. At some point, the results must matter. And I understand with Josh that at his best, he's the second best quarterback in football. And at his worst, he can lose you a game to Zach Wilson.
Yeah. O-line run game. Pittsburgh and Buffalo, very similar. Tough physical defensive head coaches. Get the defense right. Have talented young quarterbacks. Maybe a star receiver. Steelers, Bills, last 5 years. Can't figure out the O-line. Why could Andy Reid do it in one offseason? Why did Sean McVay do it with the Rams when he arrived in one offseason? Tua was sensational this week. Now, this is not a shot at Tua. Some of it was the defense, which should be a lot better than it was. He was facing the Chargers. Nobody gives up more third and longs than the Chargers and Brandon Staley. I like Tua. His arm's good enough. I don't think he throws a great deep ball, but he also has the world's fastest football player, Tyreek Hill, and arguably the second or third fastest player in Jalen Waddle, and a brilliant, not just smart, a brilliant offensive coach. So his arm is good enough. Andrew Luck, people said his arm, Phil Simms, his arm, it's good enough. What interests me this weekend is Miami at New England. So Brandon Staley is a defensive coach with a Bosa on the edge. Belichick doesn't have that. And Tua threw for 466 yards, 3 TDs, and 110 passer rating. Tua really likes to throw to the middle of the field, and the Chargers often left it wide open. Here, Tua, it's all yours. If you go look at the throwing chart for Tua this weekend, you go look at the throwing chart, and I'm looking at it now, a lot of stuff off to the right, left of center. Chargers left it wide open. So what's really interesting to me, 466, 110 passer rating, 3 touchdowns. If Tua duplicates that effort against New England and Belichick, my bad. If he throws for 440 yards, 3-4 touchdowns, 110 passer rating against Belichick, who doesn't have a Bosa, my bad. But my guess, Belichick is a great defensive coach, will take away the middle of the field and the easy 12-yard completions, bracket Tyreek Hill often, and my feeling is the Chargers once again will have to go, why can't our guy with a bigger defensive payroll stop him at all? So against Bill Belichick, Tua's average against Bill Belichick, passer rating 88, 3 TDs, 2 picks per game, 180 yards. Against the Chargers, he looked like Dan Marino throwing against air. He threw for almost 5 football fields on the road against the Chargers with a Bosa on the edge. So I have said this, is that the great, in sports, when you have something that's great, like Mahomes or Belichick or Saban, you can judge everything off that. Like if Andrew Luck could go behind a bad O-line and go 11-5, that's a great quarterback. Your guy has to be good. I don't want to hear about O-line. Andrew Luck went 11-5, 11-5, 11-5 behind a terrible O-line with a coach that got fired. You can't keep making excuses for your quarterbacks because, the receivers, we don't have this. Justin Herbert, terrible O-line first year, 31 touchdown passes. Keep making excuses. So we can do that for coaches, too. We can keep making excuses. But Brandon Staley's defense got lit for almost 5 football fields. So if Tua throws for 4 football fields this weekend, 110 passer rating, my bad, I'm wrong. It's not a Staley issue. But if you look, Tua's beaten Belichick, but he has been held down by Belichick. So that's a game Sunday night I'm really interested in. And I've said this, if you didn't watch the New England game, it's easy to say, they fell behind. I thought Mac Jones outplayed briefly in the second half Jalen Hurts. And I thought New England, of all the teams that lost this weekend, New England may have been the most promising team that lost. I thought they looked pretty good. Old Mr. McEnroe Jones hater over here, J-Mac, I thought they played really good football. Listen, Philadelphia's got athletes everywhere, jumped on them.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.